Hey everyone, welcome back to the blog. I'm Alicia and this is Jeff over at Morling Connect. Jeff, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Alicia, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well too, thank you.
Good.
So in this video, you're going to be telling us how detailed your clients can be when they're describing what they want. And you're going to tell us how you guys can create a visual representation of the vision with all of the details that they have and everything that they need built into that. And you're going to touch on your consultation process. So I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to you first to just answer that initial question of how detailed can they get when they're describing their project to you?
In the simplest sense, it can be very, very detailed. We are a custom software company, but a consultancy. So what we do is we build every last detail to what our clients want. Sometimes it's excruciating detail, but that's what's really critical, because the edges of what a software product does is really where the magic lies, right? Building some of the things about how, say, an order would flow or a finance transaction might move through or some product might go. That's one thing. But when you start talking about the exceptions and the things that make their business unique, that's where we really need to excel and get every last detail right. Because if they didn't have those things, they wouldn't need custom software.
Yeah, absolutely. So when a client comes to you and they have all of these details, they know what they want, but is there ever a point where it's kind of hard for them to visualize what they want and they need to lean on you a lot more to really develop their idea?
Yeah, it's interesting that's very much true, because when you start with a blank sheet of paper, just a plain whiteboard, it's hard for almost anyone to just sit down and say, this is exactly what I want. So our approach is usually starting, at the outer layer, something as simple as a quick sketch on a whiteboard, or even, truthfully, a napkin at lunch, where we can draw out and say, we need to do this, this, this. And every time we meet, we get a little bit more detailed, And, I've been doing this personally, and a couple of us have too, long enough that the old approach was that you would work through on paper exactly what a system's going to do down to the last detail. And then everyone agrees, but it's all conceptual at that point. You can't see it or feel it. It's just a piece of paper. And then you take a lot of effort to build it, then you test it and hope like hell that it's going to work. And now, as we peel those layers away, we're able to use our tools and expertise to say, this is what this will look like when you take this action. This is the feedback that a user will get. And far earlier, months and months earlier than normal in a process, you can actually have the tool in your hand to start to use it. It would be like if you were going to build a house, and the day after you signed the papers, while you were building, you could virtually live in it. And when you do that, then you can say, I don't really like where that sink was put. I don't like where the doorway is.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned every time you meet with a client. So I know on the blog before we have talked about the consultation process and kind of like what that looks like, but I'd like to just touch on that again in a nutshell. And then tell me, after that initial consultation, what are those next meetings like? What kind of stuff is going on?
The pace of the meetings increases as the project goes on. So we start to get some traction with each other. And it's not uncommon that we are in daily discussions. And, now that everyone's a lot more virtual, that's even easier for us to pull off. But generally, let's say that it's once a week. We would get together, talk about what we've accomplished, what we want to get done in the coming period, and then start to do what we call GSD sessions, get stuff done, where we sit down and actually sometimes build code while a client's in the room with us, and they can actually see it. It's just our hands, their brains, our hands on the keyboard. And we can make a lot of progress that way. So sometimes, we're sketching, sometimes we're reviewing documents, other times we're actually writing code all together.
Well, that's really cool that sometimes the clients can be there when you're actually developing. It's cool for them too to have that story that they were there while this software was being developed for them. So I always love the fact that you guys work so closely with your client that you almost become a member of their team, because you're learning what they need and just working through the whole process from start to finish with them. So if you're watching this video right now and that's what you're looking for, you want to work with Morling Connect and you want to have some software developed for your company, you're going to want to get in contact with them. You can do so by giving them a call, ask any questions that you have, and also make sure that you're exploring the website at morelandconnect.com, where you can learn about all of the services that they offer, and make sure that you're checking out our weekly blogs like this, where we answer similar questions and talk about the services that Moreland offers. So thanks so much for watching, and thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Alicia.